Hi Rich, we're continuing with Tango. This last time we worked a little bit on the open finish from the open reverse turn, the outside swivel, the promenade link, and now we're following the promenade link with a progressive link. We also looked a little bit at your Fallaway Promenade, and there's a few things that I think I can help you with more if you can see it than I can do on Zoom. So let's talk about first the open finish. Now, last time I did the video on the open promenade. So you have the closed promenade, the feet coming together at the end, and you have the open promenade where there's an open finish or an open ending. So one of the things that will be similar if we do an open finish following a reverse turn is that the alignment of this side step here, side and slightly forward, will be in the same position as your closed finish, but will be slightly less turned because of stepping outside the lady into CDMP. So if I'm doing a closed finish, normally, and of course I could underturn this, normally I will be diagonal to wall when I close it. So it's not a big difference, it's just somewhere between diagonal wall and wall. That enables me to prepare to step outside partner and to lose some of my left turn so that I can step into CDMP. So as in all the things we're talking about in Tango and also in your other dances when you're playing outside partner, we're really focusing now on trying to be in the right shape and not allowing the body to swing flat to where you step outside partner without the CDMP. So it's very easy then, of course, to overturn, to continue turning and step out with that right side coming through, and that's what was happening. Now we do see a stylization sometimes danced, and there's varying opinions on whether this is something the judges like or don't like, but it's not the way it's written in the syllabus. But you will see, and this is something that we would use to create an image or a fake in the lady as a stylization. You will see sometimes the men stepping outside partner and using a right shoulder lead and then introducing a right turn, which causes the lady to dance the image. Now, image is a type of a fake, so that I'm catching the girl in her movement and bringing her back the other way, and that's what would inspire that flick. But we're going by the technique, and we're not going to use that. Like I said, it's a little controversial as to whether it's appreciated by the judges. So we will not let that happen. It's easier, of course, to overswing the turn. We're going to keep it correctly into CDMP. So after that, we're going to the swivel. So I'm doing slightly less turn, not turning to diagonal wall, but slightly more towards the wall and stepping here. And then from there, when we do the outside swivel, since you're already outside partner and the next step is partner outside, you're pretty much in the right position, but you have to add some rotation because I want to lead the lady to do the swivel or the fan. So when I step outside partner, I have my body turned towards the lady, and when I'm stepping back here, I need to open a little bit more. I need to open my right hip and rotate so that the lady can be induced to do the swivel here. She has quite a bit of a turn to do. So the legs are held together. Now you can pull the leg back a little bit. You don't want it to be too loose. So keep some pressure on the ball of the foot. This is not the easiest position to balance in, so make sure your core is engaged. And again, pull that lower spine up and back. And be careful of the left arm, again, wanting to pull forward. I'm trying to keep my back and my elbow together here. We did an exercise some time ago in the studio in the chair where you just practice rotating as you're sitting in the chair so you can feel how the bones are rotating and how you're not doing it all through the arms. So that's what's happening sometimes when I watch you do it. I can see that right elbow is going behind the back and left elbow is coming forward. So then the weight of your arms throws you out of balance. So again, I'm going to try to keep that triangle we talked about from elbow to elbow and down to a point where my tails might be hanging. I'm always trying to rotate that whole triangle. So as I dance the outside swivel there, I'm rotating the triangle. Now, of course, there has to be some freedom for the leg bones to also rotate there. You keep your head turned strongly to the left, which is essentially straight here, but because of my body turning under my head, we talked about that last week in the spotting action, that many times our head will lead a turn and other times our body turns under the head. And now to dance the link, I do need to flick to my heel here. It's very easy for the men to just fall out of that step. So be very careful you don't drop the body forward. I'm going to invite my lady to step forward and flick and then do the promenade tap there. The tap from promenade, I should say. So be careful too when you do these positions that your legs are not open. There always needs to be a connection muscularly between the thighs. So feel the inner thighs working in. And once again, was watching to see that you didn't have two heels flat on the floor in your promenade link. We're always going to have that release, the heel released from the floor, the inside edge of the ball. So I'll do this now towards the camera. If I led my lady into her outside swivel, I will flick to the heel. Because I do need to move my spine, not a lot, but some, I do need to adjust the foot on the floor. So you don't want it just to drop underneath you and then your body will fall forward. So I will flick. Again, I'm feeling the thighs are working forward and I'm going to invite my lady to close to me. So I'm keeping this fairly tight or fairly secure and not letting the legs open up or letting the heel drop to the floor or overtaking. Now that can happen if you squeeze the lady. Now I can't obviously see that when I'm watching it on the computer, but most of the men do fall forward and squeeze the woman when they're doing a promenade collection here. This happens all the time. So you're going to keep those thighs forward and again keeping the head weight over the spine. As you take the next step, we were doing a walk, now we're doing a progressive link. Make sure again you engage through your standing leg into the curve so that you can create the first step of the link from the standing leg. If you're falling forward here and going square, you're not going to have the action that we need to lead the progressive link. You're not going to have the characterization of the tango where we're taking that left foot forward in CVMP and the right foot forward with the right side leading. So I'll have a lot of body actions here, rotating left and rotating right and working through the legs to do that. You can see when I dance right here, the outside partner, I'm working through my left thigh. I'm working through my right leg now to produce the outside swivel. I'm going to work through my left thigh to do the promenade link. I'm going to work from my right thigh to produce the progressive link. I'm going to work from my right thigh to move into promenade. If we look at where the lady is going, so when she's dancing her partner outside here, she's also hopefully turned towards you, but now she has to dance the swivel. So I need to lead that. So whenever you're practicing this on your own, you need to realize you're trying to introduce that swivel to the lady. And then on the link, she also needs to be led to close to you or to do the swivel. And now she hopefully will feel your preparation, and we'll use her standing leg also to produce the backward step. And once again, I keep reminding you when you dance your progressive link to unwind, right? So that when you step forward with your left foot that you unwind in order to open the girl. Because often I can see on camera there that you're not leading it. You're stepping forward, putting the foot in position, but we're not always getting the rotation that opens the girl. So you'll see that again when she does the outside swivel. She has to make a turn. When she does the link, she has to make a turn. When she does progressive link, she has to actually make a turn through her feet. You have to lead that. Okay, so that was the main thing I was really talking about, was getting good balance in your promenade link by keeping those thighs in and forward, not letting the thighs move back or too wide, understanding all the leading you have to do, and then working through that leg to produce the link. So if I see you just walk away from the leg, then we know that's a problem. When we move on now to the Fallaway Promenade. Fallaway position. So Fallaway position is a promenade position, but it's a promenade position moving backwards. So that may be a good way to practice it, because I notice what's happening there. We're not really achieving the Fallaway position even through the feet. The feet are ending up flat, and sometimes they're ending up in this position. So if I dance the first 3 steps, as I take step 3, I'm moving towards the center. I'm just about backing diagonal center. Now from this point, as I go into Fallaway, this is the position I'm trying to achieve. I'm going to look at the feet and see that the tracks are parallel down here. We don't want the feet twisted or open like that. So that transition there, right here, I'm cutting the lady off and then stepping back into Fallaway, making sure, again, the feet are parallel. My right hip and right shoulder are moving back in Fallaway position. That's an inside edge of ball heel with the right foot. It's not a directly straight backward step. We are in the Fallaway position, or well, I should say we're in the promenade position, which becomes the Fallaway position the whole time. So I have my lady on my side, but I'm changing from moving forward to moving backward. But moving backward in a sideways feeling is the Fallaway position. Now here comes the next tricky part. When I take my left foot back, it's not a giant step, and it's a step towards the center. I don't want to let my entire body open here. The lady is also stepping back in Fallaway. I have to feel as though I'm turning almost through my legs and feet to the left without letting my shoulders turn to the left. I don't want the girl to trip over my leg. I want her to also step back, but I'm introducing a very small left turn through my base. And I'm just going to adjust the frame enough as we finish. I'm now facing the wall. My lady is still in the promenade position, so I do not have to change her position. Now, a few weeks ago you had asked about the Fallaway reverse and slip pivot. There is no slip pivot here, because she is not going from Fallaway to close. She's going from Fallaway to promenade, which is the same position. So as I said before, when we're in Fallaway, we are moving backward, or let's say backward and sideways in a promenade position. And we remain in the same position, changing our place in the room and then moving out towards the corner at that point. So what the lady is doing on the Fallaway, she is also moving in Fallaway position. So she also has a backward with a sideways feeling. She will also step back towards center, and she will have a sense of closing towards you. And that's only because the couple, the partnership, is beginning to turn to the left. It's not because we're going to actually slip pivot and close. And then she will place her foot next to the other foot in promenade position and move out. So it's similar to the 4-step in one way that I find a lot of my men's students find unusual. They're so used to, in the bronze, normally being in an open position in their feet when they're in promenade, say having done the progressive link. And so then when we do a 4-step, we're in promenade position at the end with our feet together. That's the same in the Fallaway Promenade. When we finish the Fallaway Promenade, we will be in promenade position with our feet together. Together, of course, in the Tango position. But it does take a while to get used to being in promenade without having that slight space between the legs. So, very tricky part, getting that right hip open with the shoulder, and disciplining yourself here to move towards the center with the foot and the thigh without turning the whole body and also ending up putting too much weight backwards. I'm sure there are some other things that I've missed. I can't remember all the details we talked about, but I know that a lot of it has to do with keeping the legs inward, keeping the thighs forward, not letting the upper body fall forward, maintaining your frame. So we're finding the two common things, and it's common for all the guys, the elbow going behind the body and the left arm coming forward. We're trying to maintain this elasticity here between the left hand and the right hand being in the front. We're trying to maintain the curving of the tango. I did want to make one point I forgot about until just now, that you're doing so much better with the foot placement on your side steps. Now that you started to work on the edges. And that may seem like a small detail, but it's so important in the character of tango that you use your edges, and you're getting your closed promenade, you're really sticking it now. I could really see the firmness in the foot placement and the lack of body flight. That's been a challenge for us too, to control the weight in all the dances and not let the weight become too heavy. So as you use the placement and the edges of the feet, I can see the character of the tango starting to show up. So good job on that. And if I've forgotten anything, I'll come back and do another video for you. Okay, so I will see you Friday on Zoom.
Bye, sweetie.